I'd like to call the Roseville Downtown Development Authority meeting to order. The first item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Aramek, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is roll call. Chairman Moran is here. Supervisor Budney.
Present.
Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Ms. Pusak. Mr. Ranley is excused. Ms. Stanko.
Here.
Ms. Karn.
Here.
Mr. Jacobson.
Here.
Ms. Aramak.
Here.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and we have one item that we'd like to add under action item number 2, and that is a motion to approve Al's Asphalt in the amount of $39,437 for the paving of the parking lot. Is there an address there? It's our municipal lot that the DDA owns.
773.
Yeah, right up at the.
Okay, at 7738 Macomb Street. Is there any other deletions or additions? Hearing none.
We need a vote on that.
Right. I was going to say, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
We need approval, a vote on the, adding the action item.
Yep. Somebody like
So moved.
Got a motion by Supervisor Bunny. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Mr. Jacobson to approve the addition of the motion to approve the Al's Asphalt for $39,437 for the paving of 7738 Macomb Street. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is a public presentation by Ali for our community sculpture. Ali?
All right. Hi, everyone. So we will go over the overview of the addition to Art on the Aisle, which is a community art aspect involving community members of Groseal to participate in making glass fused tiles. So here is an example of the final installation design. So the project overview: this public artwork will be created with the help of the Groseal community. By directly involving the public in the creation of this new landmark, the space will resonate because the artwork will have meaning to all. The idea is to have residents create fused glass tiles from pre-cut shapes that will then be used to create a 5-foot tall by 30-foot wide, vibrant and colorful fused glass wall. By having area residents making the glass art insets, the sculpture aims to create an increased sense of local identity and community. If we can get there. Okay. Process. Each participant will be given a 5-by-5-inch glass space that they will form their design on top of using colorful pre-cut glass shapes. All pre-cut shapes will be water jet cut, giving them a naturally sanded edge. This process assures that the glass is safe to handle by all ages. Their tiles will then be fused together to create larger glass panels that will be assembled into a steel framed wall. No artistic skills are necessary. This project is designed for all ages to participate in. Parental guidance will be required for younger children. Location. The community fused glass wall will be permanently installed at Lions Park. This installation aims to establish a gathering spot where residents can visit and feel a sense of ownership in shaping the space. So where and when can you make a glass tile? Residents can participate in creating a fused glass tile by visiting the Art on the Aisle tent during summer events along Macomb Street, such as the farmers markets on Saturdays starting August 10th and Island Nights. There will be future nights added. Those will be updated. We'll go to the next page on how to stay up to date. You can visit the Groseal DDA website and follow us on social media to stay up to date with information on the Community Fused Glass Wall project. And on the DDA website, you can also sign up for the email list to receive newsletters on information about the glass wall. So now I will transfer over to the projector to take a look at a few samples. So I need to keep talking into this, don't I? So these 4 glass tiles, they're 5 by 5 inches. They were made by different people, so you can kind of get a sense of the variety of designs that you get. And so all of the shapes, again, will be pre-cut. That will allow for more variety in designs and to assure that all of the glass is safe to handle with those naturally sanded edges. So, did anyone have any questions?
How many, if I may, how many 5 by 5s do we need?
So for the full 5 foot by 30 foot wall, we will need about 2,000. We plan to install the wall in 10-foot sections. So that first section, 5 by 10 feet, we are aiming to complete that and install that by next spring.
Okay, and so we'll just throughout the year continue to have the public make these?
Yes.
And if we're getting near our installation date, will we then just do
Speed it up a little.
Speed it up, do it ourselves?
Yes. Yep.
Do
So
more,
the project is obviously very dependent upon the community's involvement. So that also determines how slow or quick the whole process and project takes. We do plan to reach out to the schools, the Groseal schools, and have students make tiles in their art class where I can coordinate with the art teacher and bring all of the supplies. So I'm planning to try to do that with the schools towards the winter so that we can focus on, during the summer, being outside at the farmers markets.
Approximately how much time does it take to create a tile?
That depends on how detailed people want to get. There are some that are a lot more simple, and then there are ones that people have taken a little bit more time with. So that top piece took a little bit longer, is a little bit more strategic design. So it really depends on how creative people want to get with it. They will be making their design by using a little drop of Elmer's glue behind each piece, and that will just keep the glass from shifting when I transfer it from the farmer's market to the glass shop, and then those will be fused in the kiln.
But Hallie, is it like 10 minutes or a half hour or an hour generally? I mean, what would you guess the normal time frame to do one?
I would say 10 to 30 minutes. They're small pieces, and it doesn't involve any cutting. All of the shapes will be there and supplied for you, so that takes down a lot of the time. Anyone else?
Any other questions?
I know it's supposed to be creative, but are there specific guidelines?
That's a great question. we had talked about, I think no like lettering. Obviously, it has to be appropriate. So no words. We can't have everyone spelling their name out on a tile. And it just has. We had talked about it. It just has to be appropriate. Obviously, nothing profane.
Like a color scheme that is required for the ones that they make? I know your design showed.
Yep. So I can go back to, hold on, the overall design. So my team will be in charge of making the water wave aspect glass panels, and then community members will be making the 5 by 5 inch tiles that are surrounding that, and they can choose. We will have every color available, so we'll be able to get a good variety.
Allie, can you go back to the rendering that has it in the park?
Yep.
So the overall height, because it's, going to be up above the ground, setting on a foundation, the panels are 5 feet, but it's going to be, the top of it will actually be somewhere probably closer, about 7 feet tall.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. We plan to have it set above ground on a concrete pad.
And then each one of those panels that you're showing are all, they're each 10 feet, so that's your 30 feet in length.
Yep.
Okay. And did you say as a panel gets done, it will be installed? Or will you wait till all 3 of them are done?
Yes, as I would like to install the middle section first, and that'll just give us time to collect more tiles, and at least have that initial middle panel installed.
So they'll be done separately. So will it be the middle one and then you'll wait and do the other 2, or will one go up and then the other at another time?
Correct. So the middle panel, the first 5 by 10 foot section, we kind of just have it being done in phases, and that will just allow more time to collect tiles and people to make crate tiles. But the overall design of the frame will obviously be set in stone, so that it all is cohesive with each other.
Can people come back attend every one of our events and make one at every event, or are you limiting anybody from the number that they can make?
I think initially we should try to allow as many people to create one as possible, and if we find, we need more
Lagging
participation, then we can invite those that really love it and want to make another one back.
Okay, makes sense.
And you'll make that call when it's time to allow people to do more than one.
Yeah. I would like to see how the farmers market goes through the rest of the summer, and then I think it'll be very fun to have the schools art classes involved. So once we've had enough classes participate and through the farmers markets, we can kind of reassess where we're at in terms of how many more tiles we need.
Ellie, maybe doing something with the seniors too, like through the senior center, some of the events that they do through the rec council.
Yes, that's a great idea. Yep. So it will be mobile. I will be able, I'm going to be setting up a booth type of vendor style at the farmers market, so it's accessible to bring to different community things.
Seems like there's no reason why you couldn't hit all the different organizations, the historical.
Yep.
and,
VFW, I mean,
VFW, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get with the rec department on when would be a good time, like what event would be best to come, for you to come and, get some tiles done, so.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Like the Land and Nature Conservancy and
Yep.
any other comments or questions for Ally? Okay, hearing, thanks, Ally.
Thank you, guys.
Looking forward to
I'm
getting
Yeah,
it
excited.
this
started.
is going to be nice.
Thank you.
This is going to
Thank
be
you.
I
nice.
think it'll be very fun.
It's exciting.
Put the sidewalk into the park a couple weeks ago, and this will be the next step, hopefully.
One part is we did invite the public out. We do have one member of the public. If you have any questions or, okay, yeah.
You want to come up to the podium and ask your questions?
I wrote them down because you guys covered some of them already. Margaret Shelton, Bellevue Road. So I'm just curious, how many assistants will you have helping you because you're going to get loaded up, right, with kids, I'm sure, or parents wanting to jump on board with this?
Yeah, so great question. So I own the Wyandotte Art and Glass Center.
Yeah, I bought it
We
for
have.
kids.
Oh, you did? Oh, thank you.
I have a few flowers.
Oh, awesome! I'm glad you enjoy them. So we have a team that works for us, and they will be out there with me,
Okay.
organizing all of that. And then if I need extra help, I'm looking at the whole board.
So that was an easy one. So the other thing is,
Did you?
You want to-
no, so when you're, when you have your booth, or how big of a space, and are you gonna do it so that, because inevitably glass with, it can somehow get broken. Are you gonna have anything to catch anything, or anything to kind of soften the blow so you don't lose, your tiles? Because I could see that happening, right? So,
Yes.
yeah.
Great question. So we will, the tent will just be a kind of like vending style tent. We will have several folding tables and chairs so that people can sit down, make their piece, have enough space. And we will just have to scope out a location that either, I don't know if we're able to do it on the grass, a grassy area.
Yeah, there's room for you. I mean, our farmer's market's,
market?
yeah, it's growing. We have about
Okay.
10 vendors this weekend, but there's still, there's room for you. We'll find it.
And if need be, if we had to do it on pavement, I do have some mats that we could bring.
Yeah, like.
Great
yeah,
question.
Yeah. Well, and even on the grass, I'm just wondering if you want to have like tarps just in case you lose pieces and then somebody steps on them, or a dog goes walking through. kind of thing.
Yep. So participants will be given almost like a tray that
Got it.
all of their pieces, they will be able to go, and it'll be kind of like a library of organized,
Got it.
color coded, shape coded pieces, and they will go up to all of the supplies and be able to pick their pieces from there and put it in their personal little work tray
Got it.
and bring it back to their stations. So it's kind of like a gridded plastic
Okay.
tray.
Okay, got it. And then the last one, and I think you guys covered it at one of the meetings, and I just can't recall. And I hate to even bring up the topic, but the vandalism concept, I don't know, if there's gonna be a camera, or if there are cameras there. Because honestly, I was at, the concert on the Commons, and I was watching several little kids climb on the, one of the sculptures. So just, I'd hate to see that with this one, because it's glass and it's just beautiful. It's a great idea, but I would hate to see that happen. So I don't know if you guys, I thought you had touched on it at a meeting I had watched,
I think we did touch on it.
Yeah. So just, that was my last question, so I was just curious.
Yep. So we talked briefly about that. The steel frame will be designed in sections so that if it does happen that a panel gets broken, we'll be able to, it will be almost like a picture frame. The backing of the frame will be able to come off in sections, and we can replace that tile if need be, or that panel.
Can I add one more? Would it make sense to have a sign saying, you know?
Yeah, we'll be sure to have up signage.
Because I sat and watched this.
Yeah, right.
Baffled, so, and
Well,
their parents were there too.
What sculpture, if you don't mind me asking?
The one in the Commons, it kind of looks, it's a bunch of squares, it's kind of robot looking.
Gotcha.
With the, you know, pointing at the top.
Yep.
Take it all the way to the top.
Anything else? Okay, thanks, Ally. Looking forward to getting
Guys,
started.
Thanks, Sally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to our next item, which is the approval of the minutes of the June 27th, 2024 meeting. Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to review those.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
A motion by Supervisor Budney,
Support?
support by Ms. Karn. Is there any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say no. Motion carries. Next item is our financial report, the approval of the June 2024 financial report. Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to review those.
Make the motion.
I'll support.
Got a motion by Mr. Jacobson, supported by Supervisor Budney. Under discussion, Ross, anything unusual that you'd like to point out on the financial report?
Nope. It was a pretty low month of spending in June, so that's it.
Anyone have any questions for Ross on the financial report? Hearing none, we got a motion by Mr. Jacobson, supported by Supervisor Budney, to approve the financial report for June 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Move on to our action items. Action item number 1 is a motion to approve updates to the Business Improvement Grant. And the version that is in front of you that was at your, at the desk is a little bit different than what was sent out by Ross in the email, and I will point out what was changed. If you want to go to item page 4, under eligible costs, under the third bullet where it says addition improvements of permanent outdoor seating areas, it was put in parentheses that does not include furniture, because if any of you that were at the last meeting, if you remember, we had someone apply for a grant that wanted furniture to be on their outside space, and we as a board decided that that is not really an improvement that we should be paying for with the grant. So we made that clear that it does not include furniture. The next bullet point said paint, and we added the word exterior because obviously the whole point of the grant is to improve the building look on Macomb Street, and so we wanted to make sure that people understood that this did not include painting of anything in the inside of the building. And then the last item, which was deleted, which is no longer on our list, was flooring. And again, that's an interior improvement, which is really not the point of the grant. So those were 3 changes that were made from the one that was emailed to you earlier in your agenda packet. So with those changes, is there any, and everything else is the same that
was
has
sent
been part of the grant requirements previously, so those were the changes. If there are no other comments, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Budney, supported by Mr. Anderson, to approve the updated business improvement grants as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Our next action item is a motion to approve Al's Asphalt for the paving of 7738 Macomb Street, which is the parking lot owned by the DDA, for the amount of $39,437.
I will Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I move, I make,
Motion to approve.
motion to approve.
Motion by Supervisor Budney. Supported by Mr. Anderson. Is there any discussion? Just as a little bit of a background, Ross has met with them, and we talked about trying to repair it through a crack seal process, but once Al's Asphalt went out there, they had indicated that it was not worth saving, correct?
Correct. Yep. So, yeah, it's a complete, repaving of that lot and repainting it. So we're hoping once we, if approved tonight, I'll get with them tomorrow to make sure that when they're repaving that they're doing it at a different time than when they're repairing the fence. So we're going to get that fence fixed and this lot. So I'm going to see some significant improvements over there. And then
Good.
potentially next year landscaping will be done, and then it'll be good for a while. So.
Ross, in talking to him, was this the only option? I mean, they couldn't shave it down and put a new top on it? It had to be dug up?
Yeah, I mean, you can see sections of it kind of coming up right now. It needs some pretty significant repair, so it's unfortunate, but this is the only solution to.
And it's indicated here that they hope that the base underneath is in good shape, but if it isn't, which we run into this doing our roads.
Yep.
Where even though you're taking it up, you're hoping that gravel base or whatever the base was below that is in good shape, and if not, they do have to add to it, and
Right.
that's what they would do, right?
Right. So I guess for the motion, I mean, we could always come back to the board afterwards and figure that out if that's the case. So I'm not sure what that additional cost would be.
Yeah, that, I mean.
Significant,
that
I'm
would,
sure.
well, depending on what, how big the area is that they'd have to do.
Right.
It could be minimal.
Yeah.
We have a motion by Supervisor Budney, supported by Mr. Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item is our discussion items. Item number 1 is the Michigan Arts and Cultural Experience Support Grant. Ross?
Yeah, so the deadline was yesterday, so I got that in for us. This would fund up to $20,000 for our community sculpture. I had a quick discussion with the folks at MACC, and they thought it was a great project. So hoping that we get that $20,000. It would fund the labor and materials for the first section. For the first section and part of the second section. So it would have to be, we'd have to expend all of the $20,000 by October 25th of next year. So hoping we get it.
Any idea when they make their decision?
September. It was dependent on the governor approving the budget for the next fiscal year, and it was approved yesterday. So the funds are available.
Any questions for Ross?
I would just like to make the comment that Ross has done a heck of a job since he's come on board looking for grants, and which are a huge help when you can pick those things up and not have to use your own money. So
Thank you. We've been unsuccessful up until this point, but
I was gonna say, we're gonna get one soon.
so I don't think congratulations are in order yet, but not for the lack of trying, I suppose. But
Our next item is the Holiday Lights RFP.
yeah, so I think it was a few board meetings ago we had talked about going out to RFP for the Christmas lights along Macomb. Just seeing what's out there. We have two. We have Leclerc Display and then Matthews Lawn and Sprinkler, who are interested in placing a bid. So they're going to give us a bid amount for the next 3 years. So the contract will last 3 years' time, and then we'll go out to bid again. And I have some parameters included in here, but I also said, if you have better ideas, like include them, and then the board will make a decision on what to approve. So that will, I believe we're going to accept bids until August 14th, and then we'll vote on the bids that next month, and then get to work out there, so.
Good. Glad to see that's moving forward. Any questions for Ross on the holiday lights? Hearing none, we'll move on to our next item, which is our director's report. Ross, events recap?
Yeah, so farmers market's growing. Everyone's, all the vendors are selling out. Not all of them, but most of them are saying, I sell out within the first hour or two. So that means that, we could use more. The demand's there. A lot of people are visiting. So, next year, potentially moving it to Lions Park will be awesome. And then we had Island Nights as well. We had quite a few vendors drop out at the last minute there. So I, thank anyone who did participate in, keeping, this event going. This month we have a lot more, different food trucks, different musicians coming out. And Allie will be there with the community sculpture stuff as well. So I'm hoping that this one we finish off on a good note here. So
And what's that date, Ross?
August 16th. Yep.
Okay.
We are having an event subcommittee on Monday at Tipsy Fish. So
Hopefully everybody here can attend on August 16th and participate.
all I got.
Okay. We will move on to the next item, which is the chairman's report. The only thing I had to report tonight is that last week Ross and I met with Raines to review the look and the location of the pergola, which you can see here on the, it's the wooden structure that you see in the park. And he is putting together a plans and specs to get this out for bid. And one of the reasons is when we were talking to Wayne County about the grant we're trying to get through them, they had indicated that if you have your information in place that you can spend the money quickly, you're more likely to get grant money. And so we want to be in a position that if we were to happen to get this grant money, that we could award this and get it constructed and purchased fairly quickly. So we're sort of getting prepared that if we do get money from the county, that we can get this done soon. If we don't get the money, at least we'll have some idea what it's going to cost. The bid might not have to be updated when we're ready to purchase it, but at least we'll be in place to move quickly once we do have the money to make the installation. So that's all I had for tonight. So our next item is public comment. Any public comment? No public comment. Our next item, unless I'll open it up to any member of the board, have any item they'd like to discuss tonight? Any discussion? Nobody has anything to discuss tonight.
It's the summer.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Budney. Supported by Ms. Karn to adjourn at, what time is it? 7:05. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.